Here's what's left of Francine. It's a tropical depression.
It's that time of year again, ladies and gentlemen. It's hurricane season. Now, I know it's been hurricane season for a while, but we've got one coming, another one coming. The second one of the year, Hurricane Francine, right now at the recording of this video, is barreling down into Louisiana. And today, I want to get into the hurricane checklist, but not for policyholders, for public adjusters, for public adjusting firms, making sure you got your company and your people ready to go upon landfall of this hurricane, so you guys can make the best of it when you land and you go out there and you start signing claims. So let's get right into it in 3, in 2, in 1. What's up, advocates? My name is Vince Perry and welcome to the Commercial Claims Show, and I am so excited about the topic that we have for you today. What's up, advocates? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Claims Show, very special edition in regards to Hurricane. Hurricane Francine, like I said, is on its way. It's about to make landfall in Louisiana. And quite frankly, every firm should have some kind of checklist, should have some kind of SOP, should have some kind of preparedness ready to go so that your adjusters and your estimators and your employees and your admins and everyone else is ready to go so you could really take full advantage of the hurricane. Let's face it, I say full advantage. I don't want to have any kind of misrepresentation or misinterpretation, because that does tend to happen a lot in social media. You're not a lurch. You're not preying on the weak. You're a business and you're there to provide your services, and in doing so, you should be prepared to, quite frankly, maximize the opportunity to provide your services for people who have claims and are going to be in need of our services. So before we do that, make sure that you click the link below. There's a free guide that I think any new public adjuster will get a huge advantage of, because it really just goes through the entire claim process from A to Z. Get this free guide or take that next step and, quite frankly, download the ebook. It's $47. It goes through the entire claims process from A to Z. It took me a ton of time. I always have it next to me when I'm in my home studio. You're going to want it. It's really great. In preparation for this hurricane, I think it can take you a long way. So I'm going to go through 10 hurricane checklists that you need as a public adjusting firm to make sure that you are good and you're ready to go, to make sure you can take full advantage of this hurricane upon landfall in Louisiana. Number 1 is contracts. Make sure that you have your contracts ready. Make sure that they are up to whatever state regulations that you have to have your contract. It's so important, because if you have anything wrong with it, you're going to be in really big trouble. Check to see if there's a Louisiana APIA. I don't know. I didn't do that research beforehand, but make sure you go into the Department of Insurance website. A lot of times they have a sample contract for you. You can go onto that Louisiana Department of Financial Services, Department of Insurance website, and you could probably find a contract that they've already approved that is good to go. But with that said, make sure that you cover yourself, okay? I'm going to give a nice shout out to a very good friend and a very important person in our company, Holly Soffer of the Soffer Law Firm. I might have gotten that wrong, Holly, but Holly Soffer, we're going to leave her contact information below. She's going to love that I gave her a shout out here, but she handles all of our contracts. She makes sure that all of our contracts are the way they're supposed to be. Also for Florida, we get a lot of help from FAPIA as well. But if you're going to a different state, if you're originally from Florida, Texas, or you're not originally from Louisiana, make sure not only that you're obviously licensed, but if you are already licensed, make sure you got your contracts up to date and ready to go so that you're not going to have any issues. Call the Department of Insurance, tell them, send them a copy of it, have them approve it, and make sure that you're good to go. And then with that said, call Holly. She'll go ahead and take a look at it, and she'll also make sure that you're good to go. But number one, if you're going to go chase this storm, you're going to go sign claims in Louisiana for Hurricane Francine, get your contracts ready. Number 2, get all of your print advertising materials ready beforehand. You have to get all of the stuff printed and ready to go. So whether you're going to use brochures, or you're going to use door hangers, or you're going to use yard signs, or you're just going to use, you're going to wrap your car, whatever it is, get it done before. You don't want to have to be rushing to do all that stuff after the hurricane hits. You're gathering everybody ready to go. You're going to the storm and you've got nothing to hand out. Make sure that you've got it all ready. Here at Elite Resolutions, we've got templates. We've got basically everything's just ready to go. And I've actually given a heads up to our print company, and I've told them, like, look, I want you to have everything looks good, boom, boom, ready to go. I might call you and I'm going to want all of this mailed within 24 hours because we have a hurricane coming. Understand? We're public adjusters. This is what we do. I want you ready. Like, Vince, we'll be ready. You let us know. We'll pull the trigger on it. We'll get it to you ASAP. So make sure all of your print materials, print advertising materials are printed and ready to go so that you are ultimately ready. If they're not printed, just make sure they're all done, they're designed. For me, my favorites are going to be yard signs and door hangers and brochures. Yard signs, door hangers, brochures, you should be good to go with that, but just make sure that they're all done, designed, ready to go so that you can print them out and take them with you. Number 3, online advertising. Do you plan on running ads? Do you plan on doing Facebook ads or Google ads? What ads do you plan on doing? Or do you plan on just doing organic advertising where you're just posting a lot and you're getting everything ready to go? Make sure you have a plan of action. But I will tell you with the online advertising, a lot of times what happens, you're not going to be the only public adjusting firm or the only roofing company that are waiting to get ads approved. That's right, you have to get your ad approved. That means you have to create the ad, create the video, create the infographic, then you have to submit it to Facebook, submit it to Google, submit it to Meta, and they're going to have to basically take a day or so to review it and then approve it, and that's when the actual ad starts. And a lot of times these ads, they take some time. They take some time to gain traction. So if you haven't already posted some of these ads in the filming of this video, you're not gonna really even see much from it for probably a couple of weeks, several weeks after the storm. But with that said, make sure that you have something ready. Again, we're pretty much always trying to be ready to go before a storm even comes. So you're gonna wanna shoot the video, you're gonna wanna create it, have the idea, have it done, have it ready to go so that you can upload that ad before the storm hits so that by the time the storm hits, hopefully you start getting some hits. Number 4, what about some sales tools, some sales scripts? You might want to get your team together and go over how is it that you're going to present your services. What is it exactly that you guys are ready to do? Is it going to be an A to Z approach? Is it just going to be to scope the loss and photograph it? Are you going to be putting the estimate together? How much are you going to be involved throughout the claims process? Is it going to be you directly or is it going to be people a part of your team? Get your script ready, make sure that you're ready, good to go, because after a storm, it's a lot of door knocking, okay? That's just the fact, okay? I'm really not a huge door knocking guy, except after a storm. And I know this from experience. When a storm hits, you've got people who are just basically in need. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to present to the insurance company. The insurance company is backed up for I don't know how many days or weeks, and they want to be prepared. You as a public adjuster, you probably have connections. You've got connections to tarps. You've got connections to contractors and roofers that can do repairs. You got connections to mitigation companies that can do dry outs really quick. Whatever it is, you can connect them in the meantime while they wait to protect their home. But then you can also document the evidence and everything. Make sure that you have your sales script ready in preparation for whatever question that they have, and you know exactly the services that you provide. Number 5, always very important, transportation. Make sure you have an understanding of how you're going to be able to get around. Are you going to be walking? Are you going to rent a car? Are you going to get an RV? Whatever it is. If you already live in Louisiana, then you should be good to go with your car and with where you're going to stay. But if you're coming from out of state, okay, you're going to have to make sure you have proper transportation. See how many people you're going to have on the team? How are you guys going to get around? The other thing, are you going to have to book hotels? I'll even add transportation and accommodations. Transportation and accommodations. Are you going to stay in a hotel? You're going to stay at an Airbnb? You remember, after a storm hits, there is no power, there's no electricity, and there's no cell phone coverage. You want to make sure that you have at least a plan of action beforehand. You could look up hotels beforehand, you could look up Airbnbs, you could look up places to stay, and you could also rent a car beforehand before the power goes out. Make sure that you have your booking information so that if you're able to get down to anywhere close to where it made landfall, you'll be able to do it. I would also recommend that you might want to get a little bit of way from where it makes landfall. But do the research before. That's the whole point of this video, is you want to make sure that you are prepared beforehand. So get your transportation ready, get an idea of what your accommodations are going to look like, because it may not just be for you. If you're a one-man show, it's going to be much easier. But if you are a team of people, you're going to have to figure this out, because it's going to get very costly very quickly. So you have to make sure that you budget for everything. You can figure out how you're going to transport yourself and how you're going to transport while you're there and where you're going to stay throughout the entire time. Are you struggling to find a place for your clients to stay after a catastrophic loss like a fire or mold or anything really severe, and they have no place to stay and you don't really know what to do because that's not your line of work? You need to call Tyler at Ready Stays. They're like the #1 ALE company. They've got properties all over the country, and they can match your client with a property of like kind of quality within 24 to 48 hours. Make sure you call my good friend Tyler at Ready Stays and get your client a place to stay with whatever accommodations that they need. Call Tyler at Ready Stays today. Guys, this is Vince Perry again, the Commercial Claims Advocate. I really hope that you're enjoying this content so far, because wait until you see what happens next. Stay tuned. Okay, so that's going to lead me into what I'm going to call general preparation. General preparation, for the most part, it's gonna be like your staffing, making sure that you have enough staff, okay? Because I could tell you from experience, you start hiring after a storm, it could be very difficult. I would say, in regards to staffing, with the staff that you have right now, can they handle it? And if they can't, that's okay. They might have to handle it for the first couple of weeks. Give them a warning. You're gonna have to handle this for the first month or so, okay? But just trust me that we've already created an Indeed, we've already created an ad on Upwork, whatever it is, we're gonna have more people coming. But for the time being, you're gonna be handling X, Y, and Z. Make sure that your staff is ready. The next thing is make sure you got all your supplies, okay? All the supplies that you need, not just for your staff, but also for yourself. Do you have all the water that you need? Do you have all the tarps that you need if you're going to give away tarps? Do you have all of the food that you need? Make sure that you have all that stuff. Just general preparation. Technology, guys. Make sure that your tech is set, right? Make sure you got your company cam set up. Make sure that your CRM is working well. Make sure that you have like a little internet thing, okay? You're going to need that for when you go out there because you're not going to have any internet. And then I would say, like I said, you know, I'll go back to accommodations. Make sure you have an idea, at least for the first few days, where you're going to stay. So general preparedness, general preparation, just think about the obvious things that you're going to need to be prepared for when you go out to look at the storm. All right, so let's get to number 7, training. I cannot express the importance of making sure you're sitting down your staff, you're sitting down your adjusters, and you're training them on sales, training them on the claims process, training them on making sure that you're getting claims moving, training them on making sure that you've got here where all the contracts are, here what we're doing, here's what we're doing with advertising, here's what this person's going to do, here's what that person's going to do. Make sure everybody's understanding, but also with the training, like how are you guys going to actually attack the storm? If you have any idea of the location of where the storm hit, make sure you have an idea of where you're going to go, where you're going to be located, and how you're going to sort of attack all of the homes and who you're going to door knock and so on and so forth. But training your staff is so important. You should be doing that on the normal basis, but make sure after a storm hits, you guys are meeting daily and you're really going over everything that's going on. Okay, number 8, client communication. All right, client communications, make sure you just doing the status quo, making sure you're doing whatever you can with your clients, okay? But also make sure, this also could relate to your print advertising, making sure that you've got some stuff already set up. So client communication could also be your current clients. Client communication could be your past clients. Are you going to send an email? Are you going to send something out to let them know, hey, be prepared for this storm? That's okay. If you're going to a location that you've never been in, that's a little bit different. But if a storm hits Florida, client communication, you're going to want to make sure that you have some stuff already set up that you could send them. And they could understand how to prepare for a hurricane. They could understand how to prepare for the claims process. They could have a good understanding of how the whole thing goes, but also making sure that you're ready just to communicate with them, because after a storm hits, people are desperate. People are going through a lot. They're really, really suffering and they don't know what to do, and they're going to be contacting you a lot. Make sure you have an understanding of the overwhelming amount of calls you're probably going to be getting and emails, and do you have a way to actually be successful with that so that you're actually attending to each and every one of them. All right, you guys already know my favorite thing to do is networking for number 9. You have already seen the video. I'll put the link up here. When I went out to Houston, the first thing I did instead of door knocking is I actually joined and I actually visited 2 B&Is before I even went. So I had already applied and I went to go visit. I would suggest, if you guys are going to Louisiana, go on that B&I website, look for some local chapters, register, and go ahead, and when you fly in there, when you drive in there, go ahead and visit those chapters. That's going to go a long way. Also, get the Meetup app, okay? If you're going to be working the storm, understand that you're going to be there for a while and you're going to want to basically get to know a lot of the local professionals in the area. So you're going to have to network. Get the Meetup app, go to the local place wherever you're at, whatever city you're in Louisiana, and start meeting contractors. Start meeting contractors, start meeting people, let them know that you are in the area to help. Networking is going to take you a long way. If you're just going to do door knocking, then that's fine, but there's no reason why you can't mix a little bit of door knocking with networking as well. So get that going and get that prepared before you even get out there. All right. And last but not least, follow-up procedures. Making sure that you're following up with potential clients, okay? There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in through door knocking, through print advertising, through online advertising, through your networking. Make sure that when these leads come in, you have a way of following up. Is it going to be you that's going to be following up? Is it going to be an admin? Is it going to be someone in the office? Make sure that you have a decent way of following up to make sure that you get that claim signed as soon as that thing comes in. And you can also follow up if they don't decide to sign with you right then and there. If the insurance company comes out and does ultimately determine what the value of the claim is and it's not up to par with what should be paid, you're going to want to find a way that you can follow up with them and ask them if they are satisfied with the actual claims process and with the way things have gone. All right. Make sure you also have all your contacts ready. I want to give a shout out to make sure that you contact Tyler at Ready Stays. He's going to be able to put any of your clients who are unable to live in their home. If their home is unlivable, I want you to make sure that you go to Tyler at Ready States. You're going to want to contact him. You're going to want to contact Ready States. They have an actual site where you can put in all the information. I'm telling you right now, I have referred him to countless amounts of clients, and every single client is happy with the services that he's done. So make sure you've got him on speed dial so that if somebody's unable to live in their home, you could just give them the number and they could just call Tyler and he could have them in a place within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Hurricane checklist. I know you guys thought that we were probably going to go through a normal hurricane checklist, but this is for the firm. This is for the public adjuster. This is for the firm or the public adjuster that is actually going to be traveling to Louisiana to really go out and to help the people after Hurricane Francine makes landfall, to make sure that you guys as a firm, you guys as a public adjuster, you're ready to go. All right, I've chased many storms before, and without being prepared. It's much better to have your contracts ready, have your advertising ready, have your scripts and your transportation ready to go, have your networking groups and all your follow-up procedures ready to go. Trust me, you follow this step by step, you'll have everything ready to go. You'll be able to really attack the storm the way you really want to take ultimately your life and your business to the next level. So good luck out there. Comment below, tell me what you think, and let me know if you have any other questions or anything else that we could add on to this list. See you later, guys. Good luck. Well, I hope you learned a lot of that show. There is so much in store for you in this channel. If you just fall into that rabbit hole, we've been doing this for 4 years. Click on one of these links here in front of you and see how much more you can learn on the Commercial Claim Show.